Hi fans of online entertainment. That's going to be my new intro now for one of the new intros for my upcoming videos. You see? Oh, sorry, I just had to wear some glasses because it's really sunny outside. So anyway, welcome back to my latest video. I haven't done a video now in a long time. I'm going to use another discography review because my Foreigner Complete Atlantic Studio Albums box set just reached 1,000 views, so to honor that, I'm going to do a Foreigner discography review. But this is only their albums released on Atlantic Records, so it's only their first 7 albums, although I was only a fan of the first 6. So, yeah, there's 7 albums to review on this. Now, I've listened to these Foreigner records so many times that I have basically become very obsessed with Foreigner's music lately. And that's why Lou Gramm is easily one of my all-time favorite singers, and that's why Foreigner to me are it. Like, as in, to me they are as big as important as Bob Dylan, Paul Stanley, and then that includes Kiss, obviously, Phil Collins, and that obviously means Genesis, Aladdin and AHSW, and then of course Perry of Little Mix. So basically, Bob Dylan, Kiss, Genesis, Little Mix, Foreigner, and then AHSW are basically my favorite artists of all time, which means I can't rank those artists. If I did 100 greatest artists of all time, I just cannot rank those 5 because they're all basically number 1 for me, which is cool to say. So let's get started, and I would also love your thoughts on the Foreigner discography if you can in the comment section below. Okay, 1977, their debut album, just titled Foreigner. Then here's the back. And my favourite song on this album is Fool for You Anyway, because I just love the music in that. And Fool for You is actually a song title by Rod Stewart from 1976's A Night on the Town. And then Anyway on its own is a song title by Genesis from the 1974 Lamb Lies Down Broadway record. And then, of course, Any Way You Want It by the Dave Clark 5 covered by Kiss, and then by Journey as well, and then Anyway You Slice It by Kiss from Asylum, for Anyway as a word to start with. And then For You are songs by both Springsteen and Status Quo, like song titles of the same name. You just have For You on its own, which is cool. And as for a least favourite, it is probably At War with the World. But I like the song though. War with the World is a bit like saying Way of the World, which is a song title by Genesis from 1991's We Can't Dance, and also by Aladdin from 1973's self-titled album, which I think is the best 70s debut album of all time. And this is another one of my favourite 70s debut albums of all time. So the other favourite ones from 77 are obviously the Clash's debut album, but I think these are the only two, and maybe the debut album of the Boomtown Rats for another favourite debut album of 1977. And I would give this record a 10 out of 10. Love this album so much. I mean, Cold as Ice is a very classic song, and so is Feels Like the First Time, but I actually prefer Fool for You Anyway overall. So again, I give this a 10 out of 10. Really good debut album. I love it. They followed that up with 1978 with Double Vision. Here you go. And my favourite song on this album is Hot Blooded. I mean, I love it so much. Hot Blooded could be like saying Hot Legs, which is a song title by Rod Stewart from 1977's Footloose and Fancy Free, which I think is good. However, a close second favourite on here for me is You're All I Am. And I like Blue Morning, Blue Day, and I somewhat love Love Has Taken Its Toll, and even I've Waited So Long. And for my least favourite, I'm going to probably say A Lonely Children. Sorry, I just had to hesitate there because I couldn't think of a song. So I'm picking Lonely Children for my least favourite. And I would give this record a 9 out of 10. Don't enjoy it as much as the Foreigner debut album, but I mean, it's still a good album overall, actually. But I mean, Hot Blooded on here is so good, as Foreigner are one of the greatest rock bands of all time. Okay, so then Ed Galdry leaves the band, and then Rick Wills comes in on bass, and we get the 40th anniversary of this album, 1979, Head Games. And then here's the back. And my favourite song on this, oh, there's so many, but I think my top favourite would have to be Rev on the Red Line, which actually is a similar title of Love on the Line by Barclay James Harvest from the 1979 record Eyes of the Universe, which also celebrates 40 this year. So it kind of is cool that that record came out in the same year as this, which I think is good. I love a lot of good songs in here. I love, of course, the song Women, and Lou Graham's voice in that is so very much like John Fogerty. I bet sure John Fogerty was out of the music business at that point, so I think Lou Graham wants to try and copy John Fogerty's voice a bit, which is good. I love the title song Head Games, I think is good. It could be like saying Mind Games by John Lennon from 1973 record of the same name, and then Love Games by Leo Sayer from 83's Have You Ever Been in Love? And the song that Mick Jones sings on, The Modern Day, is really good too, and it could be like saying Modern Day Delilah from Kiss's 10th anniversary of 2009 Sonic Boom. And I feel Mick Jones's voice on Foreigner was good too. Like, he sings on Star Rider and Woman Oh Woman on the first album, and then he sings on Back Where You Belong and I've Waited So Long from Double Vision, which I think are great. And then he sings on Modern Day from this one, which is good. And for my least favourite, I'm probably going to say Do What You Like. But it's still a really good song. And I would give this record a 8 out of 10. I don't enjoy it as much as the other albums. I mean, I don't enjoy it as much as Double Vision. So then, Al Greenwood and Ian MacDonald leave the band, and then the band becomes 4 members. And when I did my unboxing video back in September in 2016, I did this to celebrate the 35-year anniversary of this album, and now it's 38 years. It's 1981. Foreigner 4. I mean, what an album this is. This is just a masterpiece of an album. If you haven't heard this, I wouldn't say go to a Foreigner compilation. I'd say go straight to this record, because this is fantastic. I mean, my favourite song on this album is... there's so many. But my favourite song on this has to be Jukebox Hero. Because it was the song that introduced me to Foreigner, but I don't know if I call my favourite Foreigner song of all time now. But I still like it though. It's just amazing. Nightlife is amazing, and it's an album title by Thin Lizzy from the 1974 album same name. I meant song title from 74 album same name. And I also like Break It Up. That's a really good song. And I love, of course, Urgent. And I especially love Woman in Black. And my least favourite on this is, guess what? I don't have a least favourite on this one. They're all really good. And I would easily give this record a 10 out of 10. Sorry, and my phone's just ringing. So then they take a 3-year gap from recording music together, and then we get the magnificent 1984 record, Agent Provocateur. 1984. Here's the back. Oh, loads of great songs here. You might think my favourite song on this is I Want to Know What Love Is, but no. My favourite track on this album is Down on Love. And it's a similar title of the song Going Down on Love, which is a song titled by John Lennon from 1974's Walls and Bridges, which is 45 this year. I mean, the music on that is just awesome. But a close second for me here would be That Was Yesterday, which are lines mentioned in the Kiss song We Are One from 1998's Psycho Circus. And then Yesterday, obviously, is a song titled by the Beatles from the 65 album Help. And in that same year, 1984, McCartney released the album, I think it was Give My Regards to Broadway Street. Yeah, but I mean, the great thing about I Want to Know What Love Is that it's a very romantic ballad type of a song, and it's a big hit for the band. And I like a lot of good other songs in here too. I like, of course, the beginning of Stranger in My Own House. Lou Graham's voice on that is very Robert Plant-esque. Like he's trying to put on a bit of a Zeppelin kind of voice in that, which is good. And yeah, I love the whole album. For my least favourite though, I'm going to say Two Different Worlds. And I would give this record a 9 out of 10. Now, I'm only kidding. I'm going to give it a 10 because of I Want to Know What Love Is being a classic. Because, I mean, it it is what it is. It's a classic song. So then they take a break for another 3 years, and Lou Gramm did his solo album called Ready or Not, which I apparently don't have in my CD collection. I'd like to get it because I love Lou Gramm, because he's one of my favourite singers ever of all time. Again, he's as big as important to me as Bob Dylan, Paul Stanley, Phil Collins, Aladdin, and of course Perry Edwards. And I mean all the other people in my music heroes like Mark Knopfler, Sting, Brian Ferry, Donald Fagen, David Lee Roth, John Lees in Barkshire's Horse, Noel Gallagher, sorry Liam, they're all important to me as well. And even David Bowie. And of course, Booker T. Jones. I mean, they're all really important to me, and especially Matt Bellamy of Muse and Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters. They're all brilliant. And then for guest people, possibly Paul Simon, Leonard Cohen and James Taylor. Those artists to me are as big as important to me. Right. So 1987, Inside Information. And then here's the back. And then, of course, the Gatefold. Classic band they are. There's one of my main heroes of all time. Anyway, my favourite song on this album is I Don't Want to Live Without You, which is mentioned in Bad Company's Feel Like Making Love from 75 Straight Shooter. And Without You on its own is a song titled by both David Bowie on 1983's Let's Dance, and then by Springsteen. And then, of course, With or Without You by U2 on 87's Joshua Tree, which came out in the same year as this record. My other favourite track on this album has to be Out of the Blue. It is just such an authentic Foreigner ballad track. And it's an album titled by ELO and a song titled by Roxy Music from 74's Country Life. I love A Night to Remember, that's really good. And I love Heart Turns to Stone and Can't Wait and Say You Will. I'd say for my least favourite, it's probably the title song Inside Information. But this is a great, great album. I love this record. Last album with Lou Gramm, of course. Very sad. And I don't have a least favourite on here. This is all really good. And I give this a 10 out of 10. And then in 1989, Lou Gramm did his solo album Long Hard Look. And then Mick Jones did his solo album as well. And then in 1990, Lou Gramm leaves the band, which left fans in shock. Oh God, they're in serious danger now. And they get some cool American singer, Johnny Edwards. I mean, poor old Johnny. I thought he was a good singer too, but he doesn't beat the odds like Lou Gramm does. And basically, Lou Gramm leaving Foreigner to me was like Molly King leaving the Saturdays. Because I say Molly King is another important female singer in my life. So then we get 1991 by Foreigner, Unusual Heat. You know, I actually remember being very excited by this one after I did the video because I knew Johnny Edwards in the band Wild Horses. And then I remember downloading this album as I played it, and then within an hour or so after I heard every track, I was a bit disappointed. I'm only kidding. I mean, it's got some good songs in here. My favourite song on this has to be When the Night Comes Down. It's just a very authentic Foreigner track, and Johnny Edwards sings it very well. And I like Only Heaven Knows. That's a really good song. Which is like saying Heaven Only Knows by ELO from 86's The Balance of Power. And then Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now by the Smiths from the 1984 subtitle debut. Actually, no, I mean, it was recorded during that era, which I like. And Heaven on its own are song titles by both Talking Heads and the Rolling Stones. And I like the song Low Down and Dirty, which is a really good song. It's like similar to Little Mix's track Down and Dirty from the Glory Days album, which was 25 years later, which I thought was a cool coincidence. I'll Fight For You, I thought it was really good. And I like Moment of Truth too, that's really good. But I'll Fight For You is just a really good song. And I even love Flesh Wound. That's probably my second favourite track on here. No Hiding Place is good too, and Safe in My Heart. I mean, the whole album is good, but if you want the perfect version of this album, you only keep Only Heaven Knows, Low Down and Dirty, I'll Fight For You, When Night Comes Down, No Hiding Place, and Flesh Wound. And there you have it. That's your perfect version of Unusual Heat. Of course, you leave off the title song Unusual Heat and call it something else. My least favourite on this one would have to be Ready for the Rain, which is okay, but not great, but still good. So I give this record probably a 7 out of 10. So that's it. That's my partial Foreigner discography review. Hope you all enjoyed it. They're one of the greatest bands of all time.